Right, hello. Right. Sorry, I've not been on, guys. I've had life to deal with, I suppose. A lot going on. Lots of interesting things, which I'll go into in a couple of videos' time. But yes, life. That's why I've not been on. I wanted to go on last night, but I didn't get home till about 8 o'clock, so I couldn't go on then. It was pointless. And Doctor Who, I wasn't in. I was out all day. I tried getting back. I hadn't even watched Doctor Who yet. But I picked up a box set a couple of weeks ago. And it's, well, I don't know if anybody can make of it. I picked this up really cheap. Smallville. All 10 seasons, and Tom Welling's autograph was signed on the top of it, but there's no providence to back that up. But, you know, who knows? It could be. I suppose I could dig into it, you know. But I've not watched Smallville for over 10 years. And what's been interesting about it is the 10-year journey of Smallville. It was the entire 10-year journey of it, and do you know, I've really enjoyed it. I'm on season 9 now with the Zod thing. I think I'd say that's probably that, and season 6 I think are my two favourite seasons. I'm going to jump into season 10 tonight. But I did like Callum Blue as Zod. I thought he played a really great character, but I'll start at the beginning. So I picked this up in a charity shop. Actually, it was in the shop window. I paid about 25 quid for it. It's just in shop window, and I thought, is that signed by Tom Welling? So I don't know if that's right, but it could be someone just wrote it. Anyway, it was in a charity shop, so I bought it straight away. I've got a couple of seasons on Blu-ray, but I've only got the odd season. And they're in storage, a couple, which I'm going to have to clear them out anyway. So I ended up watching first season. I did like the pilot episode, you know, I thought it was good. But the first season, it's like, it's teenage growing angst and his friends, and they're all at school and it's all wonderful, and he's got his beautiful little barn with lights in, and his parents are perfect. But what's interesting about Smallville, when you watch the whole 10 seasons, more or less, you are on an amazing journey into Superman's life. Do you know what I mean? And, right, let's turn that down a bit. Probably get flagged for playing music. So I started with season 1. And everybody's younger. I liked it when Michael Rosenbaum, I think he plays a fantastic Lex Luthor. Do you know what I mean? And it's great, him and Clark's friendship, how when he saves him off the bridge, when his car goes over the bridge and Lex becomes obsessed. But I sort of like when you're going into Lex and Clark's relationship, it's sort of an interesting, because I think Lex at first sees him as like an inspiration. He tries to get away from his family sort of approach, and then his dad turns up, Lionel. I don't know what to make of Lionel Luthor. He's just a monster, you know, sly, dishonest, backstabbing, manipulative. I mean, all the politicians, all the qualities of a politician, do you know what I mean, and more. A true corporate monster. And when you start going into Lex's childhood over the seasons, and the things his father did to him about being a Luthor, and this, how you've got to be ruthless and all this, it's sort of interesting. Now back to Clark. I like Clark's family. I like his dad and his mother. He comes from this really stable home, and they've got this big secret they've got to protect. But Clark's now reached a certain age, because of all, when his ship crashed in Smallville, it failed. All the kryptonites affected certain people in population. They've got abilities. but a lot of them are evil. I mean, first season you got Bug Kid, you know, he's like do stuff with bugs, and Clark's relationship with Lana. You see, what's so good about this series is that all the characters develop, not just with Clark, they all develop their own sort of story. So you get about 4 seasons about Clark's backstory, Jor-El, Krypton. I think it's end of season 5 we get 2 Kryptonians turn up that are going to free Zod. Is that 4? And Zod gets out, and there's a whole story out where Lex gets possessed, and it builds to that over 4 seasons or 5 seasons, and it's quite an interesting thing. And poor Lex, you do sort of understand why he's like obsessed with Clark, because all this stuff's going on in this town. But when it's sort of like going in with Chloe and Pete Ross, they get rid of... Well, I don't know, like Pete Ross, but they sort of got dropped him after the first season and brought other characters in. I like Clark's relationship with Chloe, and Chloe has an interesting arc right till the end. But you get the whole Krypton thing about... It's like, apparently Jor-El had planned all this in advance. He'd been to Earth before. He'd been to Smallville because the Kryptonians had portals where they could come and go and all this. But as we learn, there's a civil war on Krypton, and Zod destroys the planet when he loses. Out of spite, obviously they send him to Phantom Zone, strip him of his body. But he has a plan, and he's got followers, and they get away from Krypton, but the planet goes boom. And that's it. It's a different take on sort of the old Krypton thing. You know, I mean, there's that many different versions of it. But what I like about Smallville, which I'm going to go into, which is sort of interesting. But when we get into other seasons, Smallville started taking risks, and I liked it for that. Because if it weren't for this, we wouldn't have the Arrowverse. I mean, you know, I 9 seasons of this, from Clark Kent, from the stuff at high school, and then moving on from that, and then when his mother becomes a politician, she sort of develops a relationship with Lionel, but that doesn't seem to go anywhere. They sort of dropped that in the later seasons, which would have been interesting to see where Clark and Lionel would have gone. Lionel gets possessed by Jor-El from Fortress and all this, and he suddenly changes and thinks he's on this holy mission, because there's this whole conspiracy about the Traveller and the Veritas sort of thing, which is tied up with the Queen family. Because in the first episode, have you seen the paper, the Smallville, the Daily Planet, the Queen family died in boat accident, which brings all that into it. But as we go into it, in comes Green Arrow, we get Aquaman in the 5th season, Impulse, Cyborg, to start bringing them in, these separate entities, and it all builds up beautifully. When Oliver Queen comes into it, I'm a big fan. I like Justin Allen. It seems I listened to a podcast with him, Michael Rosenbaum. He seems a really nice bloke, and so does Tom Welling, top geezer. Because go on YouTube, Michael Rosenbaum has these podcasts, Inside You. And he interviews them, talks about the story of Smallville for about an hour and a half. And Tom Welling is such a humble guy. He is such a nice bloke. And he sort of explains why he sort of took a back step from Smallville after 10 years of it. And you get that. But I like Tom Welling. I think he's a really cool dude. But back to Smallville, you start learning about Clark and who he is, and I like the sort of growth of his character, about why he's so focused on what he's got to do and his beliefs from his parents about doing the right thing, and he sees good in everybody. But all the characters that are around him, they've got flaws. Even Clark is I mean, this is the argument you have through the series. Is Clark Kent or Superman or Kal-El naive? Because there's numerous arguments with Oliver Green Arrow about how he sees things. Like when the whole sort of we get into the Zod saga, it gets interesting about Chloe stashing Kryptonian weapons. James Masters has Brainiac is brilliant. Really do like that. I don't know, he plays it well as a manipulator, but he hasn't become, none of these characters have become, they're on the journey. Even Brainiac, he's on his own journey into the future to become what he does. Because in one episode, when he gets destroyed and he's possessing Chloe, he says he's going to start absorbing knowledge and go from world to world. So you get that purpose, because he's done his directive of bringing Zod back and unleashing Doomsday on the worlds and all. The Doomsday thing, I can understand why they did what they did. I mean, it was a bit of a disappointment. I mean, look, Smallville, of course, it has its flaws. In some seasons, they're not brilliant. I found the Doomsday thing was a bit of a letdown. I did like David Whitworth, who played him, the character Warwick Davis, and how they split him, not Warwick Davis, Summit Dave, and how they split him off with Black Kryptonite. And Clark buried him at Justice League, buried him under some magma tap. All right, Supergirl. Right, let's go back to the music again. Do you know what I mean? Sorry, I should have set this up, but and it goes into the whole thing of, like, the Doomsday thing splits and part. I mean, I think I did feel a bit let down because you didn't get to see much of Doomsday, but yet again, I mean, on a TV budget, I think what Smallville accomplished was amazing. I really do. And it was the first TV series that really touched it on bringing superheroes together, like when they destroyed Room 301 or 307. It's a great scene where they blow it all up, and you could see the future Justice League when they're, you know, doing the usual movie walk from the explosion. And it all focuses on Clark. I bet they had a buzz doing that. And it's great, and it works, and all the actors they got in. I mean, like Zatanna, Serinda Swan, she were marvellous. But they're bringing them all in. But in Smallville, we're going to go to next levels. You could have gone... You could have created Justice League from this, the TV version. It could have gone that way, which would have been interesting. But the whole journey of Chloe, Pete Ross, Clark, Lionel, Lex, Lana, and all the other characters. I mean, well, Pete Ross got dropped. He did come back as Rubberman, didn't he? Which they were all right. But... I mean, his father died, Park Kent. I mean, he sacrificed him. I mean, he died because of all his Kryptonian stuff. And you sort of, it's like, it's just his heritage and his destiny and how it's going to change the world. But then we go back to Krypton. I mean, there's been one or two nice people from Krypton, but most of them are quite sort of evil characters. I mean, I liked it, Laura Vandervoort as Supergirl. I thought she was marvellous, and I think she could have pulled it off in the new series. I think she could have made a great Supergirl. But I do like Melissa Beneath, she's made it her own. But Laura Vandervoort, I mean, she turned up because she was sent after him. But she was being used for her own father because he was a megalomaniac Zor-El, and he cloned Clark's mother so he could have her to himself. But they all want to take over at will, do you know what I mean? And all this. I mean, there ain't a lot of nice people from Krypton. John Jones, Martian Manhunter, they bring him into it. He has a bit of a character arc and development, which is interesting. But the Lex Luthor thing, for 7 seasons, I thought Michael Rosenbaum, right, he wasn't a scientific genius like the Lex that owns in the cartoons and the comics. But he was intelligent, he was ruthless, a manipulator, and you know, he just did so much. Like, even when he manipulated Lana, pretended to get her pregnant and all that, and she figured it out. Lionel, Lex killed that doctor an hour before they got married. Lionel knew what he was like. Him and Lionel, their relationship were amazing. But even when Clark finally got Lana, I mean, she put on a super suit and manipulated the whole thing, and Clark couldn't go near her because she like created kryptonite around her. I mean, he even got his own spiteful laugh on Clark. And we jumped from that. But the top episodes for me in this, the best one is the Justice Society. That was an amazing episode, the two-parter. It was just great. Michael Shanks as Hawkman was incredible, and that's where Checkmate came in, because this is where we start moving towards the dark side stuff, the whole apocalypse thing, which is in season 10. So I mean, they brought in so much of the DC canon into Smallville, you know, but then we get disappointed because in season 10, which is not bad, I do like most of it, but we're all waiting for the big reveal in the suit, and we didn't quite get that, did we? So after 10 years of watching this, it's, you know, I think a lot of us were, look, I can't complain, 9 years of it was superb, 9.5 years, but the final 2 episodes weren't bad, but it was a bit of a downfall after season cliffhangers and the whole journey and the arcs and everything in Smallville, which was a bit annoying. Do you know what I mean? I was pretty gutted on final sort of episode. I know in Gotham final season we're going to see him in the bat suit, and I hope they get it right, which will be interesting. But I'm going to give Smallville 98 out of 100, or 4.5 out of 5, a Martin rating. 4.5 out of 5. It's only because final episode where you're meant to see him in costume, but maybe, you know, starting his career. I did prefer Lois over Lana. I thought Christine Crook were beautiful and she was great, but Erica Durante brought that magic to it, and she was Lois Lane. They said that in a screen test. Lois Lane has just walked into the room, and she was Lois. And it had Smallville, it sort of brightened up quite a lot. The Jimmy and Chloe, Chloe and Jimmy thing, that were alright. It wasn't too bad. I preferred it when Chloe was sort of turning dark and stuff and all that, because she gets really devious, and it's like the rest of them. The C. Clarke has been a bit naive in certain things, even though he holds them up to a moral standard. But all in all, Smallville is an amazing journey, and if you can get through the first couple of seasons, trust me, by season 5 you won't better turn it off. Season 6 it goes into overdrive, and I do recommend, but it's just the final episode, and it sort of lets it down a bit. But you know, I'm not complaining. I got a good 9 years out of Smallville, and I enjoyed basically every moment of it. Look, there probably is 1 or 2 bad episodes in there, but that it what in any TV series that's been running for a long time, it lags a bit, you know. The episodes of Stargate were terrible, you know, and that will go in 10 years. So that's it. The legacy of Smallville has been amazing, because they've now brought Smallville into the Arrowverse. We've seen the Kent Farm in Flash and Supergirl, and one of the series we've seen this. So this is set in a parallel universe to the Arrowverse and all the other universes. So it's part of the 52 in the DC canon, which is absolutely amazing, because if it weren't for Smallville, we wouldn't have Arrow, Supergirl, DC Legends of Tomorrow, Flash, Batgirl. We won't have any of it, you know. And this is the legacy of Smallville. At first we all thought it was a teenagey sort of thing, you know, like Dawson's Creek with special abilities, you know, and a few mysteries, and the Scooby Gang get together. It went so beyond that. We got into the world of superhero, like when Clark develops into the Blur. He is amazing, wearing the crest and zipping around Metropolis and saving people. It brings that magic into it. So this is my review of the Superman DVD box set of Superman Smallville. Sorry. So into the box set, you get 10 seasons all there. Just picture of him and Kent Farm. Loads of extras and goodies and yummies in there. I picked up this cheap. I've seen this going still quite expensive actually in HMV, but yeah, definitely worth what I paid for. Watching 10 seasons of this over last few weeks, well, I'm going into 10 today, has been amazing. So please guys, please subscribe to my channel. Let me know what you think of Smallville. And yeah, I think that's it. It's been a long one, it's this, but I just had to let my feelings out about Smallville. I've really enjoyed going back to it. And well, yeah, that's it. So touch the notification button in the corner, and I will be online. Honestly, I will be on Sunday straight after Doctor Who. I've got honestly, I'm out Sunday during the day, but I will be back. I'm going for a meal on Sunday with friends, but I will be back for Doctor Who, and I will be on straight, and I will be on Wednesday or Thursday next week as well. I will be on, I will let you all know. Right guys, have a great week. Let me know your thoughts on Smallville. Please share and subscribe, and I'm sorry for ranting on in this long video. Alright guys, all the best.